All right, so I just threw this up here real quick. Please pay no mind to my busted ass computer screen. So what I got here, just a raw sample vocal of me saying check, getting progressively louder.
Check, check, 1 2 1 2 1 2, check, check.
So as you can see, waveform is obviously considerably smaller at the beginning than the end. So from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to reduce the noise that you have in the background. So select something that you know, usually from the beginning of the track when you first start rolling. I don't have much room at the beginning of the track, but you're just going to select just a few seconds worth of noise. That should be enough. Well, that's actually because it's a small waveform. But anyway, select a few seconds of just background noise, nothing with you making any sound in it. Then you'll go into Effect, Noise Reduction, Get Noise Profile, and then select your entire track. And then go back into Effect and back into Noise Reduction. And just hit OK. Now the way I've got that set up, I think you can probably see it on the screen, but I've got it set to 48 dB. Sensitivity is at 6, and the frequency smoothing bands are at 3, and then just reduce, not residue. Okay. So that'll help do that, and then you can just keep that whole track selected. One thing you're going to do, this right here, normalize. That is going to become your best friend throughout this. You are literally going to normalize your track after every other thing that you do. It's a little bit tedious, but believe me, it helps. So you're going to normalize it. I have it set to remove the offset, normalize to -1 dB, and don't normalize the channels independently. Just normalize them as one thing. Speaking of which, that's the other thing. Always record to stereo channels. So then you're going to normalize it. Go back into Effect. First thing you're going to add is a compressor. Now the way I've got my compressor set up, my threshold is at -12, noise floor is at -40. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. My attack time is 0.20 seconds. Release time is 1 second. And I do have the makeup gain at 0 dB selected as well. So that's the compressor that I use for everything. Compress it. Now you're going to go back in here and normalize it again. And then this is where you're going to start adding your EQs. Now the EQs are a little different. Just go into your factory presets. The first thing that you're going to want to do is add the treble boost EQ. And just the way that it comes in the factory preset is the way you're going to use it. Treble boost it, and then go back in after the treble boost and normalize it again. Once you've done that, go back into your EQ and you're going to add the bass boost. I know that seems goofy, but trust me, it works. So go in, add the bass boost just the way it is. All right. After that, you're going to go back into your effects. After you add the bass boost, normalize it again, of course. After the bass boost, this is where the really important thing comes in. This is what is going to keep your vocal from dipping too low or becoming too loud, and makes it really sit well in the mix. So after you've normalized it, you're going to go down here to limiter. Now the way I have this set up, it's set up for a hard limit, 0 gain dB on the right and left channels. You're going to limit it to -10. You're going to hold for 10 milliseconds and apply no makeup gain. So okay to that. Now, as you can see, it didn't quite level everything out, but what you're going to do, you're going to go in here, you're going to normalize it again, just like you do after everything else, and now you're going to run that limiter again. So back into the effect, limiter, now run it the exact same way. Now, as you can see, of course, it looks like it's cut, basically all the dynamic out of your vocal, but we're going to fix that. So after you've run it the second time, normalize it again, and then go in here, back to your effect, and this is where you're going to add your reverb. Now, I have this set up as really natural sounding reverb. It's really, it's not too harsh, but it's enough to sit in well with pretty much everything that I've done so far. Set your room size to 100. This is actually a custom job too. Room size at 100, pre-delays at 10, reverberance at 12, dampening at 50, Tone lows at 100, tone highs at 100, wet gain at -1, dry gain at -1, and stereo width at 100. Okay, that adds some of the ebb and flow back into your track. And the last thing that you're going to do here is go in and normalize it one last time. And now that'll be it for that channel.
Check, 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
See, there you can hear that it has the dynamic, but it's not getting super loud or way too low at the beginning. The other thing that I do is I will actually go over here, copy that track exactly the way it is, and then you're going to add another stereo track and just hit the paste button there. And so to really even this out, you're going to select that entire thing. You're going to go in here, back into your effects, and you're going to add more EQ to it. I always do it this way. I go in here, and the first thing I do is I add a bass boost. Sorry, I got distracted. I add a bass boost, and then of course go in and normalize. And then after you've added the bass boost, you're also going to add a treble cut. All of these are in the factory presets. So, and then normalize it again. Now what I'll do with this track, because as you will be able to hear, it's going to be it's going to have a little bit different sound.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
So what I'll do with that track is I just kind of blend it in with the other one.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
And I'll pan them a little bit differently, generally. The panning is kind of up to your ear. I've done it a little bit different, but I'll just pan one a little more right, one a little more left. And then all of my volume control in terms of where it sits in the overall mix, I just control from here. And
check 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
That's pretty much it. As far as like the panning and all that stuff is concerned, that's, like I said, that's going to be all up to your particular ear. But the panning does, before you go getting too crazy with adjusting your volumes and all that kind of stuff on your tracks, try panning a little bit, because it does affect the overall volume of the tracks a little bit, because it kind of changes the way that your ear perceives it. But that's how I do it, man. That's how I got the vocals that I have on those videos, and that's actually exactly the method. I don't know if you've listened to, well, yeah, I sent it to you, the Radicult stuff. That's exactly how I mix those vocals. The other thing with this second vocal too, this second track, is I will use it to add different effects a lot of times. Like on the Cure song that I did, I actually added an echo to it, and I believe that is exactly how I added it. It's not a heavy echo at all.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
But when you put it in with the overall track, it makes a difference. It gives it just that extra little bit of something. I've used distortion on the second track. I've used the echo. I've even added a different reverb. So just kind of experiment with it. There's all kinds of different things you can do. Just remember, after everything you do, normalize it.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2, check.
See, there you can get a little bit of that echo in there. You don't hear it so much once it's mixed in with the track, but it does add just a little extra something. But yeah, man, that's my method. I hope it helps you, brother.